All right, good evening, everybody. Glad to have you guys back here. Um, we are on step number one. This is me doing it with you. I really want you guys to get your SAM registration in place so you can start winning these federal government contracts. So this is step number one. You have to have all these things in place before you can register with SAMs. I recommend that you go ahead and go to SAM.gov and log in with your information. You're going to have to create a username and password. You should have went to DUNS and got you a DUNS number. Now, a DUNS number is not needed after April 2022, but I always recommend you guys to get a DUNS number. And the reason why, because you might want to apply for credit for your business later on. Business credit is very powerful in today's world, especially if you're bidding on government construction contracts. So I always recommend that you register, still get a DUNS number for your business. But after April of this year, 2022, they're gonna assign you a unique identity identification. Oh, I can't even talk. A UEI, a unique identity identifier. Tongue twister. So then make sure you have your correct legal name, or your sole proprietor, partnership, LLC, and corporation. If you're a partnership, you're going to have all your partners involved. And based on your physical address for each specific location. So make sure you have the address that you're going to be working out of, and making sure that each location, or let me say this, however you register your LLC or your sole proprietor, however you register it, all the addresses must be the same. Because if not, it will delay your SAMs for you getting approved through SAMs. Because here's the address verification below. So you can type go to that link right here, type up your address, and see if it's being shown. Because if it's not being shown, you may have a problem, because the government's going to check your address. And if you're going to use a virtual address, there has been talk that you may going to have to produce a lease. So you might want to talk to your virtual address to see will they be willing to give you a lease. You can try a virtual address, but if you get denied, you may have to use another address, like your home address, or if you're in an apartment, your apartment address, and that way you can produce any documents if the government asks for. Then you're going to have a tax identification number, or EIN, or you can use a social. I always recommend businesses to use your EIN number. If you don't have one, you can get one for free. All you got to do is go to the tax site, which is all you got to do is just put in there irs.gov. Anybody else, you type something else in the search engine, you're gonna find a company's going to charge you, a third party to charge you, but you can get an EIN number for free. So make sure you have an EIN number ready. Make sure you have your bank account. I always recommend businesses, make sure you have a business bank account. And make sure that your business bank account, you have their phone number as well. And make sure it's an account that you're going to keep, because you don't want to have an account that you're thinking about closing down, or you're thinking about changing. So make sure it's an account, because if you win a government contract 2 months, 3 months down the line, and they're going to send your money to your bank, and it's not going to go through if you close down that account. So make sure it's a business bank account that you're going to be using. Then you want to make sure you have your NAICS code, and you go here to get your NAICS code, census.gov/NAICS code, or you can do what I always do. I go to Google And if you want to do, if you, let's say you want to bid on painting projects, you can put in Google NAICS code / painting, and it'll bring up a NAICS code for painting. Or if you want to do truck driving, put NAICS and then put truck driving in Google all at once, and it will bring up the NAICS code for that. PSC codes I really don't mess with unless you plan on selling products. You can get you a PSC code, and then you're going to need your gross receipts average over the last 3 years that you're in business. And when you get those gross receipts, you divide it by 3, and that will be your total that you will put once we get to that section, because they're going to ask you for your gross receipts. If you don't have any gross receipts, you can kind of project what you're going to do, what you're going to average on being on these government contracts. Okay, so this is step number 1. That's your homework for today. Make sure you go ahead and get all that stuff done before you move on to registering your business with SAMS. You're going to need all these documents. And then we're going to go to step number 2 in the next video. 1 second. All right. I hope you got through step number 1. You got all your documents together. And congratulations, you are ready to move to step number 2. Step number 2, when you log in, and when you register to log in, you're going to have to put your email address, as I stated before, and you got to create a password. So you click on sign in at the top, create an account below. You see down here, create account. And then once you create an account, you're going to enter your email address. If you're going to be using, hopefully, if you're going to register in English, but if you're going to do Spanish or French, you can check that off. And then you're going to acknowledge. You got to click here, and then you hit submit. Once you hit submit, check your email, and the government's going to email you. It's going to look like this. Check your email, and it's going to look like this right here, number 5, and you can confirm, because you have to confirm your email. Okay, and then we go to the next step, step number 3, which is you're going to have to create a strong password. Now, the password is going to consist of letters and numbers, and I always should suggest that you get a password book. I have a password book that I got from, this is it right here. I have a password book that I got from Office Depot. It keeps all my passwords in, because you never know, you might forget or your computer might go down. So I will suggest that you write down your username and password for SAM.gov. Once you created your username and your strong password, now we gotta go to the authentication method of setup. Excuse me, just can't talk today. Here you're going to, if they have to do a two-party, well, excuse me, you got to authorize twice, and so what happens is they're going to either text you a security key, or you got to verify through email, or it looks like or government employee. Well, not a government employee ID. You're not a government employee, but so here, if you look down here, it says text or voice message. So you choose this right here, and it'll text or send you a voice message, and you go to number 8 here, enter a phone number. So once you click here, you enter your phone number, and then you hit send code, and it's going to send you a code, and this will be your one-time security code. You enter that one-time security code and hit submit. Okay, and then we'll go to the next step. The next step is once you created an account with SAM.gov, enter your email, you're going to agree. And then you go to the next step, number 10 here, complete your profile and click submit. So now you're going to put your name, your first and last name in here, and your phone number and hit submit. And then we'll go back to SAM.gov. Because what we're doing, we're logging back in here. All right. Now we are doing a request role. So if you're the only person working in your company, you will probably be the role player. You'll be the president or the CEO of your company or the admin. So if you, like I said on here, if you completed your DUNS number, you're going to enter the information here and complete the role request. If you don't have a DUNS number yet, then you can skip and you can finish later. And like I said here, to assign roles, after completing registration, click on Workspace, then Profile, then My Roles. You do need to assign yourself as an entity administrator for your SAM.gov profile. So you go here, your roles, and then you'll put your name as you're assigning yourself a role for the entity administrator. So you put your name, you'll be the administrator. Okay? And then we go to the next step. And then here you're going to click on Get Started. And if I'm moving too fast, guys, or you can go ahead and pause the video so you'll get everything on here right when you're registering with SAM, so you don't have any delays. So now we're going to get started with the entity management. So you click Start, as we have circled here, Get Started. So up here or below, Get Started. And to start your entity registration from your workspace, click Get Started. Or if you don't use the workspace, you can click from SAM.gov, click the home page, Get Started, which is down here. And if you have your DUNS, you can click Get Started again. All right. So you get started here, and then you're going to register your entity and get a UEI number. That's new. That's the new program that the government set up here. Okay. So here we're going to click Register Entity. If the DUNS number is still the primary entity ID number until transferring to a UEI number after April 22nd. So if it's after April, you're going to automatically get a UEI number. So if you want to get a DUNS number, that's fine. I recommend you get a DUNS number because it helps with getting business credit. But if you don't want to get one, then the government would automatically assign you a UEI number. So you click here, Register Entity. And then the purpose of your registration, what entity are you registering for? Business or organization? So most of you guys are going to be business. Most of you guys are not doing business with the government. Well, you're not registering for U.S. government. If you are, check here. If you're tribal government, check foreign, check here. But most of us are business. And then why are you registering this entity to do business with the U.S. government? You're registering so you can bid on federal government contracts. That's the purpose of us registering today. Or if you just want to get grants, then you check down here if you're just going to be applying for grants. But most of us, we're doing, this is the purpose of this, so we can register our business and become a federal government contractor to place bids on winning highly profitable government contracts. Okay, so click here, and then we go on to the next step. All right. Now we on to our next step. Now we're on the core data. This is the still registering your entity. So the core data is asking this question: are you a successor or predecessor that held a federal contract or grant within the last 3 years? So this is gonna be yes or no. If you didn't, if you had a grant or a contract in the last 3 years, then it'll be yes. If not, click no and move on to the next. Save and continue. Okay, we're still on core data. Here in the core data, we're going to answer these questions here. So first is just general questions, general information. Here you're going to put where your business was incorporated. Wherever you got your LLC or sole proprietor, you put United States or this in the state. Like mine is in Georgia. If yours in Alaska, Alaska. All right, and then you're going to enter any security levels, but this right here I don't do. I don't enter any security levels because we're not trying to get any high security areas in the government. So here you don't have to select any value, or it may come up NA or something like that, but just put your county of corporation and country of incorporation, which is United States, and your state. Everything else will probably be not applicable. Are you a disadvantaged business? More likely, no. Most of you guys are going to be no. And then you're going to check if you are a Native American entity, Alaskan, American Indian owned. You check here, but most of us will probably be not. And then you just answer these questions if it applies to you. More than likely, it's not. You know, like I said, I went through this for mine, and this is kind of how mine is set up. So some of these it doesn't apply to me, so I left it alone. But if it applies to you, make sure. If you're a for-profit business, you know, or non-profit organization, then here you would check that off. And then if you have any socio-economic categories, so if you're veteran-owned, women's-owned, joint venture with a women's-owned, minority-owned business, then you'll check off whatever socioeconomic category you're in down here, okay? And then we move on to the next page. All right, you save and continue, you move on to the next one. Now we're still on the core data. Now we're on the financial information part. And so we're walking through the step by step. And just remember, I said you're supposed to have your checking account information. You have your checking account information. Do you accept credit cards, method of payment? Yes or no. If you do, check it off. And now you're going to enter your bank account information. So you fill all this out for your bank account information. And then you fill out your name and address and everything here as well. Once that's filled out, save and continue. Go on to the next page. All right, now we're still on core data. We have all these checked off. We went through all this already. So now we're at the executive compensation questions. All right, and basically you're going to answer these questions. Is in your business or organization proceedings completed fiscal year, did your business or organization, the legal entity to which this specific SAM record represent by UEI belong, receive both of the following? Is it 80% more than your annual gross revenue, or is it 25,000 or more annual? So you check off whatever it is. So you click on here, and it will give you where you're supposed to answer that, whatever belongs to you. Okay. And if it's not applicable, not applicable. Okay. All right. Now we're on the next section here. Core data preceding questions. Uh, so it's asking, is your business or organization represented by a UEI number? Um, and so it'll be yes or no. Okay. And does your business, organization, or represented by the UEI number on the SAM's record have a current active federal contract grant total value exceed greater than all them zeros, 10 mil. So if not, not applicable. Okay. And we're going, oh, did I skip a section? I'm going to the next one here. Still on core data. And so it's going to tell you that you have completed your core data entity registration with SAM. Please validate the information presented on this page is correct before continuing. So you're going to make sure everything on here is correct. If not, you edit and make it correct. Okay. And then we go on to our next page here. Once you make that correction, and remember I was saying make sure you get your NAICS code. Here's when you're going to enter your NAICS code for your business. I recommend that you have at least 10. If not, you're going to have at least 2. Here's where you're going to select your primary, and then you're going to have a secondary. All right. So here where you enter you can search your NAICS code, and once you search it, and you can click on it, and you can add up to 10. Some people add more, but my recommendation is to add 10. And you want to have a primary and a secondary NAICS code. And again, this PSC over here is for if you have any products that you're trying to resell to the government. But most of us are going to be service business, providing a service. So this is where we want to enter our NAICS codes. And I would recommend up to 10. Okay, I'll move on. Once you've done that, save and complete, and go to the next. All right, now we are on a core data, and now we're dealing with the receipts here. Like I was telling you guys before, you take your gross receipt average over the last 3 years and you multiply them by 3, and that will be your total that you'll put here. And the number of employees, how many employees you have, you put that here, and this right here is optional. Now, if you haven't been in business for 3 years, you're probably going to have to put your annual receipts for what you plan on making in the future, and you want to put that here for your annual receipts. But you take your last, if you've been in business for some time, you just take your last 3 years and multiply them by 3, and that will give you your total put here and then how many employees you have. All right, and we'll move to the next slide here. All right, I hope you guys are still saving and continue. If you took a break, that's fine. Usually we're halfway through. So now we're still on core data, assertions, the EDI information, your entity EDI information. Do you wish to enter your EDI information for your non-government entity? More likely, no, we don't. Once we hit no, we move on, save and continue. Now, we're still on core data. Now we're on disaster response information. Here, this is when do you want to be included in the disaster response registry? If so, you click here and yes or no. Usually I say yes, because if a disaster happens, they will contact you, and that'll be another project you can bid and win on. Does your company require bonding to bid on contracts? That'll be probably yes or no. It all depends on the agency. So a lot of times you can probably leave that blank. And the reason why you can leave that blank, you see right here, this right here, you have to answer here. But it doesn't have the red asterisk, you don't have to answer, so you can just leave that blank right here. And this right here too, if you do have bonding, sometimes I recommend my students to get pre-approved for bonding so they'll know what their bonding capability is. If they'll have per contract and their aggregate as well. So if you get pre-approved for bonding, you'll be able to fill this out. If not, don't worry about it right now, and we can go on to the next step. Save and continue, and we're on to the next page. All right. So now we are on review assertions. So now you review everything, make sure it's correct. If all looks good, save and continue. All right, now we are on the next page, the reps and certs. And this is the FAR response number 1 here. I know you're not Joe the King. That was something that we were doing. So if you looking at this now, don't worry about it. You put your name here. So you put your name and your title. A lot of times I'm president of the company, owner of the company, wherever you want to put as your title. So you put your name and your title here. And then you want to go ahead and answer any questions if it relates to you and your company. Okay? And we'll move on to the next page here. All right, now we are at the next slide, more reps and certs. Talking about 5 through 10 is basically asking questions about you and your business. You know, basically, have you been in trouble before, and do you owe the government anything on your taxes? So just answer those questions, and then we're gonna go down to 15 here. And 15 here is usually no when we do this for our clients. So 15 is usually no. But just answer these questions here, and we'll go to the next page. Thank you. All right, we're on FAR clause response number 3. Okay, here you just got to answer these questions, and if you have any more further questions, you can read the FAR. You just got to click on the link and read the FAR before you answer the questions. But here, are you a small disadvantaged business? Now, read through here, and I'm not sure what you put down for your receipts of what you made or not, but whatever it is, whatever you made, you know, read through this and then check off whether it's yes or no. And these are mainly yes or no questions throughout this. And then we're going to go down here, 19. Do you deliver? And like I said, just Jody L is not going to show up on there. It's going to have your name on there. Any products that are listed, listing products requirements from the federal contractor certification. So this is a yes or no question, and you just read through it. More times, question number 19 is going to be no. And if it is yes, then you have additional questions you need to ask below. But most times when we're helping contractors register their business with the federal government, a lot of times this question is no. And then we go up here to 20, has contractor held previous contracts with the federal acquisition regulation. And for 20, even though if you haven't won a federal government contract, I'll still check this off as yes. There's nothing wrong with it. So you can still most of the time when we answer this is yes. And if you want to read it, just click on this FAR clause. You can read it up some more. And then we go down here to 20. Are there any end products delivered to the government? And most of the time, this is yes, because you're going to be supplying the labor to the government. You're going to be doing the work on site, or whoever your subcontractor is going to be doing the work. So 21, most of the time, this is yes. And then, and if you're doing products, if you're selling products to the government, then you're going to have to, it says if yes list for these products, then you have to do the country of origin, where these products are coming from. But that's only if you're selling products. If you're doing service, all you have to do is put yes. But if you're selling products to the government, then you got to put what country of origin those products are coming from. And then we go down here to 22. Has the contractor require equal employment opportunity compliance reports? 22 is also going to be yes. So if you're always going to be an equal opportunity employer. You're not going to discriminate against race, religion, or what have you. You want to be an equal opportunity employer. So make sure you click yes for 22. And 23, please choose one of the following statements that applies to you, the contractor. You click on here and you can read about it. But most people, when we register their business, it's the last box here that you would check off. Contractor has not previous contract subject to written or affirmative action programs requirement from the Secretary of Labor regulations. So this will be no right here. You check this off, the bottom box. And then again, you just go through here. These are just basic questions, yes or no. You just click on here if you want more details about it. But that's it for this page here. Once you finish, hit save and continue, and then we'll go on and talk to the next section here. Thank you. All right, we're on FAR response number 4 here. And once this page right here, you just have to read through it, 25 to 33. Just read through. These are just basic questions. Either apply to you, yes, or it doesn't apply to you, no. So you just make sure you just answer these questions here, whether it applies to you, yes or no. Just some questions, and you should know these questions to these answers here. And if you don't know, reach out to me or reach out to your local PTech office. But you should know these questions for your business. Once you're done, go down, hit save and continue. And we'll see you on the next slide. Thank you. Okay, we're at the architect engineer response. If you are an architect engineer, then it's gonna trigger a response. But if you're not an architect engineer, don't worry about it. Hit save and continue and go on to the next section. Okay? Okay, we're on the next page. This is the defense response. So if you do want to bid on DoD issue contracts, then you go ahead and select yes, and then there may be a few more questions you have to answer. But if you do not want to bid on DoD contracts, then simply click no. And again, you can click on here to read if any of these apply to you. If not, leave it blank and just go to down the last questions here, all up to 42. And if any of these apply to you, click yes. If not, no. A lot of times these responses it does not apply to people that's getting into the federal government construction part of it. Okay, and when you're done, just hit save and continue, and we'll go to the next page. All right, here we are coming to the last part of the FARs, and here you can go ahead and review all of them. All you do is click on the link, click on these links, and it's going to be now when you see a split page, I just have my page split page like this, but when you're on it, it's going to have one solid page. But you're going to go through all these FAR clauses about your company. You can take time and read it, but once you get down to the end, there's going to be a box to check off to continue, and I'll go to that next page here right now. Okay, and I am back now, and here from the previous video, these are the FAR clauses again that you can check off and read if you know more about, because at the end you're going to have to check this box off saying that you have read and agreed to all the FAR clauses. So you are certifying that your business is a small business, and once you submit this for processing, you got to make sure that you are a small business and that you're not representing your company as something else, because this is a legal and binding document, and there have been people who made false claims and was heavily fined, or they spent some time in the slammer. So I recommend you guys to make sure that you fill this stuff out accurately and completely, and you should be good to go. And once you're done, just check off the box that you have read it and hit save and continue. All right, see you on the next page. All right, now we're here on the reps and certs for the financial assistant response. And as you can see, at the question is asking, do you wish to apply for a federal financial assistance project program? Or do you, the recipient of funding under the federal financial assistance project program? So most of the time is no, but if you're looking to apply for financial assistance, it'll be yes, and then as you see at the box next to below that, you're going to have to answer some more questions about the financial assistance that you said yes to, but most of the time it's no. Okay, we'll go to the next section. Thank you. Okay, now we are at the points of contact. This one is pretty straightforward. You just fill out your information here, your title, name, and you see all the asterisks are the one you must answer. So if you have a middle initial, you don't want to put it, you don't have to. Phone number as well, fax number, you don't have to, but I would highly recommend you do, because the government does use this as well. Or if you have an assistant, or you have a partnership, and then this is where you will put different numbers and extensions as well. So you just fill this out with your contact information, and then you'll see where it says optional points of contact, where the gray boxes are at. If you look on there, those are optional. If you want to put past performance or party performing certifications or anything like that, you can include it there, but that is optional. You don't have to do it, but you do have to put your account receivable and your electronic business POC as well. Just fill it out. It's pretty basic, pretty straightforward. Okay, and hit save and continue, and we'll see you on the next page. All right, now we are getting close to the end, everybody, and we have to SBA supplemental. Now, the only thing I need to say about the SBA supplemental is that for new businesses, if you're registering your business for the first time with SAM.gov, I recommend that you'll wait to register your SBA profile. Once you are approved through once you're approved through SAM.gov, once you're approved through SAM.gov, then you can do your DSBS, which is your SBA profile. That's going to take another 30 minutes to update your SBA profile. But again, in my course, you should see that I have how to update your SBA profile to make it stronger. I do have that in my course as well. I recommend that one so you have a strong SBA profile. But for right now, I recommend not to fill this out. You see that button at the bottom that says register or update SBA profile. I recommend you do not do this right now. Wait till you get approved, then we can come back and update the SBA profile. Because what I'm doing, I want to help you guys get approved through SAM.gov as quick as possible. So hold off on registering or updating your SBA profile. We'll get back to that once you're approved through the government. Thank you. Hold on a second. We'll go to the next page. All right, everybody. We are at the last page here. So this is to submit your registration. When you submit your registration, it's gonna go through all your pages again to make sure that you're certifying that everything is correct. If it's something that's left off or something that's not added, this is your time to do it. If it's something that needs to be changed, this is your time to make the change. Because if you read below this box, you see the screenshot I have here. By submitting this registration, you are certifying the information is accurate and complete. Knowing providing false or misleading information may result in criminal, am I saying that right? Prosecution under Section 1001, Title 18 of the United States Code. So make sure that everything, you're not, if you're a large company, that you're not doing this as a small business because you could get in trouble by the government. So just make sure everything that you have on here is accurate and complete, and you're not misleading the government, and you'll be good to go. And once you have done that, you checked over all your information, and you see this right now on here, you'll see that there's a DUNS number and a SAM UEI number and a legal business name. That is somebody else, so don't try to use, I mean, it's locked anyway, but don't try to go in there and use that information. But once you're done with your information, you just hit submit, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the next page. All right, this is you submitting your registration. This is your confirmation page. As you can see, it says you successfully submitted your entity registration. All right, so it has been, your registration has recorded and will remain in submitted status until all external validations are complete. So they're going to verify your address that you put on there. If you use a virtual address, all that's going to be checked. And if you need a virtual address that is Google verified, please send me a message. Let me know. I can point you in the right direction of where you can get a Google certified virtual address. But if you use the home address, there's no problem. But they want to verify that everything you submitted is correct. Your business, your EIN number, so all that they're going to check to make sure it's correct before you approve. But this is what you're going to get, and they're going to email this to you as well. The date and time when your registration was submitted. Okay, let me go and show you what that looks like as well. All right, So this is an example of an email that you would get once your email has been submitted successfully. It'll say you have successfully submitted your entity registration, and like I said, this has been blocked out. For the SAM, registration record will be submitted and will remain in submitted status until all external validations are complete. What happens next? And then it just tells you what happens next. And then if you see the box that I have highlighted, if you have not previously submitted a notarized letter with the entity administrator for your entity, you must do so now. Failure to do so within 60 days of activation may result in your registration no longer being active. So they're going to have instructions for you to get a letter notarized that this is your business. So just make sure you follow those steps as getting your letter notarized within 60 days. So it will not hold up your registration from not going through. And if you have any questions, you see below the box that is circled. It's entirely free for you to register and to maintain your registration. So you don't have to keep paying somebody $500, $800 every year to keep your SAM registration active, because you have to renew your SAM registration every year. And so, but if you have any questions about registering or any other questions on your registration through SAMs, there's a telephone number you see down there as well. It's a toll-free number, 1-866-606-8220. Then have an international if you're registering your business from not in the USA. There's a 334 number. But this is what it looks like when you are completed. Or if it's not completed successfully, they will send you an email that say, hey, your registration with SAMS, it was not successful. So we're going to hope and pray that you do not get that email. We want everything to go smooth. This is why I have this training here, so you guys can register with a smooth process so you can start bidding on these high profit government contracts. Let me show you another. Let me go to the next page here as well. All right, now once the validation process has been validated, you'll get this email right here. It'll say in the subject line, as you see where I have it highlighted, IRS 10 match validation successful. Yay! All right. And it will say for your name. It won't say that name. It will have your name. So that means that your 10 number has been validated. Everything looks good for the government. The government is happy. And so it's now time for you to go ahead and get busy. Now, you don't have to read this entire email. You can go ahead and just delete this, and we can go ahead and get started putting our bids in. And now, if you get an email that comes back and says that is not successful, then that means either your EIN number is incorrect or your EIN number is brand new. So you guys, when you put a brand new EIN number on there, it could not made it to the IRS system yet. So I always tell people, you know, if you trying to register with the government and you called you got your EIN number yesterday or day before, then it may not be in the system yet. So you probably get a email back saying, hey, we couldn't verify your TIN match. So make sure your EIN number is not brand new, or your TIN number is not brand new, or it could be something else, that something's not matching up correctly, And again, that's why they have at the bottom of this, in this letter, they have a toll-free number for you to call if something is wrong. So you just call your SAM administrator, which is a toll-free 800 number, and those ladies or guys that's on those calls are great. They will help you out, and they would sometimes what they'll do, they'll send a response saying that, hey, this customer is dealing with an issue and they need further assistance, so they'll move it up the chain for you. But again, you're dealing with people, so if you talk nice to them and treat them nice and make sure they're having a good day, because they're receiving a bunch of calls like this. So if you guys can just be nice to them, I assure you that they would take care of you. Okay, and let me go to the next section here. I'm going to show you the address correction part, because that's another issue that we have, is correcting address. Let's go to the next video. Okay, here we're talking about the cage review. So once you go to the validation of your EIN number, now they're going to go through the validation of your address. So cage is they received it from SAM, the physical address, and they'll have your address on there, and it'll say validation has been successful. Yay! Once you get that, you're good to go again. But if you get a failure, then you're going to have to go back and find out why your address is not located. And you'll see the link right there. If you click on that link, it's gonna you can review your address. So it says, you see on that box that I have circled in red, please review your physical address at. You click on tools.usps just to verify your address is correct, and check your address, which is registered under your EIN number. Make sure it's all correct. I mean, you got to make sure that if your physical address requires a suite number, unit number, floor number, apartment number, etc., whatever it is, all that has to be listed. It has to match up on SAM.gov. It has to match up on your EIN number. Everything has to match up. So, and if it is the same, then what you want to do, you want to get in touch with your local PTAC office. And the good thing about your local PTAC office is that they have a email system where they can email the cage code people directly, and they can help push your address through if it still comes back that it's not validated. This is very important, because I'm having this issue with a few of my students right now, that they cannot get their address pushed through, even though they're saying that is correct. So just make sure that if you're continually having problems getting your address verified through Cage, you must contact your local PTAC office, PTAC office. Make an appointment with them and have them help you get your address validated. And then you see it below the red box that I have highlighted. It says, if this physical address is a virtual office, incubator, or accelerator, or co-working space flex, you must follow the information below, because you're going to have some requirements for virtual addresses, and you'll see you'll see what you're going to need below. So that is all I have for right now, and I know I dropped a lot on you guys and girls, but I just, like I said, I really want you guys to get your SAM and get approved through SAM.gov, so you can start bidding on these federal government contracts. But this is the most important steps that we must take. And once you're registered, I'm telling you, it's a great feeling that now you can do business with the big daddy of them all, the federal government. So let's go to the next page. I'm gonna go over some important tips. All right. So these are important tips. You are now registered with the government. Um, but these are just some important tips I'd like to just go over with you one more time here. After your SAM.gov profile is active, go back and update your SBA supplemental page. Your DSBS profile must be completed. I would highly recommend you complete it. And like I said, I crossed out because I don't have a recording. I just have um, um, a helpful guide on getting your SBA profile set up the right way. Um, if not, you can go to your local PTAC office and they can help you as well. But I already have it. But your SAM profile must be updated yearly, every year. If you have a contract and your SAM profile expires, you will not get paid. You will be doing the work for free, and your payments are suspended until you activate your profile. So please update your profile every year. And you also beware of third-party providers trying to sell you services. I get this all the time. I get people calling me. I get people sending me emails. This is not the government. So make sure you watch your email that they send to you and saying that your profile is not complete. Just ignore that email. I can't stress that enough. Ignore those calls because they're going to be calling you, especially when you're getting your registration new. The government does not do that, but the SAM will send you an email. It's going to be an official email from SAM. They're going to send it to you 60 days before your profile will expire. And nowhere in that email does it say call them. Nowhere. So you go back onto your SAM.gov and you go ahead and update it from there. And make sure that all your NACSX codes and solicitations that you wish to bid on have been added to your SAM's profile. You're going to have a primary and a secondary NACSX code. And then you can add, I always tell my students to add 10 more NACSX codes to their profile. It is the only way to verify that you are a small business for the associated size standard for that NACSX code. These are important tips. Please do not take these tips lightly. Get it done so you'll be able to get paid at the end of the day. It's not that difficult to get your profile set up. It's not. So just take a little time, but do it once you're approved, then update your SAM profile. And then, like I said, I have a document, a blueprint on how to update your SAM profile. If you don't see it, just give us a call or give us an email or what have you, and we'll make sure that we'll get that to you. But you guys, congratulations for getting your SAM profile set up. You're good to go. You're ready to start bidding on these federal government contracts. You're going to do awesome. You're going to do great. Make sure you have that positive mindset and start bidding on these federal government contracts. Glad to see you here on the other side. And if anybody else that you know that needs to get help setting up their SAM profile, please let us know. And we'll help them out as well. But in the meantime, you guys do good and do great. And we'll continue to support you any way that we can. Okay? Have a great and awesome day.